So hi everyone, today in this video we're gonna develop another mental model that can be useful for you since mental models are representations about how the reality works. And as much more you grasp them, higher is the probability of you getting what you want. And what you want, I think what everyone wants is having prosperity. So we need to kind of have a performance wherever it is in relationships and family, wherever it is we're talking about in the professional life you rely and you want to get success. But for that, so you rely in taking decisions, and to take decisions, you need to get what are the ones that most fit. So in the environment that you're stuck in, that are so create the feedback loop that you want to get. But then obviously you kind of require to have information about how the reality works because it's what's so going to provide to you as a better type of way to predict what's going to be the consequences of your actions. And what's like the smartest way to get knowledge? I think it's probably by getting what other ones have studied and not just relying in what you can grasp from your own experience. It's probably the smartest way to do it. And so that's why we have as a mission of this channel is talking and going around all the type of fields of study that are present and see so what are the ones that most can provide mental models for you that can be applied, not just if you take from mental models from economics, you apply in economics, you can apply some of the mental models in economics because they're abstract. You can apply it in other fields. They are abstract, they're models that so the things were think and things were made. But then so what's the one today? It's a simple mental model to kind of solve the majority of the problems today. So it's like what I call the four laws of unbreakable thinking. And then, so what's the core idea is that clear thinking is innate, so it's skill you can develop, you can learn. Obviously, so understand that we live in a fast world and you probably need systems that work, that are not too much complex. You probably have already too much complexity in your life. So why not having like a small framework to solve the majority of the problems that the majority of the ones that you face, you don't need like to get that much in deep thinking. You can have other ones that you have to think a bit more, but the majority of things you almost solve it in autopilot mode. But you can use a specific framework that's a bit more structured, but you don't have like that trade-off that comes you need to have a long time thinking to adopt this framework to solve a problem. But then so what are like the laws, the four laws of this framework is clarity, followed by skepticism, then synthesis, and then so an interaction. It's like the four stages that I define. What's the first stage? Clarity, where I can call as define the fog. What it is? Precision in language and goals. Vague thinking is equal to vague result. What are the examples? Bad. We need innovation. That's meaningless without specifics. Why we need innovation? What is innovation? So you always have to go for the most abstract. What do you really need? You need innovation. Not. Probably you don't need innovation. What you want is what innovation brings to you. Probably you kind of think that innovation brings to you what you really need. That is so having good life. Having good life. That is you being healthy. You kind of have money to buy things that you do and makes you have the things that you do like. And that's probably what you want. That's the foundation, and not things that are abstract. It's like we need innovation, we need better life, we need to do this. But what it's the real thing that you need? Probably so. That's why you always have to adopt the principles. You have to think in the principles. You understand clearly what you want. It's already something that helps when you define a clear target. Because it's difficult to solve a problem that's abstract. Because when it's like abstract in terms of not having a meaning, it can mean a lot of things. We need innovation. Not how you're gonna solve it. It's much easier to solve if you define I want a good life, and you understand that to have a good life is kind of so it's compounding by having good health, and then so these small goals you solve it. So to have a good health, what science seems to say that brings you good health? This, and then so you start working in day-to-day life because you have clear goals you can set because you take from abstract things that like we need innovation a good example, so to state a problem and not just saying we need something that's vague, it's probably so making something specific. Because if I understand I have a good life, I want it, I make it clear that so good life is compounded by health, money, things, and then so, for example, in health we have mental health, and we see that mental health is relying in having so not having too much stress, and then so I understand that when I'm too much stressed, yeah, I'm probably I see that my heart rate increases too much. So I have already clear goal to make it to get the result that I want. That is, in the next month, I'm not trying to pass any time with this heart rate above a specific range as well. So I think it's a stop point that I start doing things that makes me become stressed. See how I making and having clarity already solves a lot of the problem, because clarity defines a clear type of target, and it's so easier now that we have clear target to do something that even people do like more, than generate hypothesis of action. And the reality is that you need to kind of create all these hypotheses, because a lot of them they already were tested, and you don't just like to be in try and see if it works or not. You can see what science seems to say that's good. So a tool is ask what exactly I'm trying to solve. What does success look like? It's so better type of questions that leads to you for also what you really want as a target. A second, after having so this clarity that makes you so understand what you really want, what are like your targets, understand that these specific targets, so they are compounding in sub targets that you can accomplish over time. But what happens next about having clarity is a bit of skepticism. So start questioning everything. So what is so this stage is assume all information is found until proven otherwise. So it's probably now that you have to do analysis about what you want. The reality is that you need tools to get what you want. So having going specific, that's what I'm defending. If I'm trying to make you learn this, I have to go specific so to learn this framework. So clarity, I think I gave the example of health. The example of the heart rate, what I do, so I don't want the heart rate to go above rank because it not help. So what I do as a target is that I'm gonna have to manage my heart rate. And I give example of what? That to stop and to not suffer with, I'm gonna so reach a point that I see that the heart rate is higher than what I pretend. I cut away and I start not doing things to become stressed. But I already have assumptions. I have assumptions that what? I am already have assumptions that the heart rate is the meaning there. So that stress is something that's bad. I'm already assuming as well that I solve the problem by cutting away. So after we reach a specific heart rate that is too much high, in assumption, because I'm making assumption that is high. So see, all the majority of thinking that you do is always based in assumptions. You kind of take it as things that are true, without proving it. So that's why I defend, in particular, in things that can be proven, that empirically can be proven. I'm not talking about religion. I'm not talking about other things that are easy, but these things that are specific, like nutrition, health, you kind of should so adopt a scientific way to think. So you just believe in things and use it as in your assumptions if they're proven scientifically. So if I'm to solve a problem, so I want to feel better, I have to have clarity. What is feel better? I'm not going to feel better. What I really want is like having a good life, that the good life clarity depends on having skepticism. What the life, a good life depends on. The science has proven that depends in having health and having good relations with family, friends, and other things. Seems to be that. So it's proven. I have adopted skepticism to clarify what I really want. Now, again, I have to get skepticism to understand, so what are the tools that leads me to get these objectives. What science seems to prove and say that contributes for my health. I have a skepticism type of mindset. Then so it's going to bring me to get the real type of information. So science has been proven that exercise is good. So Now this case leads me to get the search and see something that really contributes. So exercise in a certain measure, in a certain type of days a week is good. So put in my check. So it's something that I'm gonna do because I've adopted skepticism that makes me understand what really is something that contributes for my result. And then I've defined the clarity and I have the skepticism enough to make me search for what's hard like the right methodologies to reach for my clear goals. I'm so much more prone to do what I want, that is my head goal. Now, I have adopted clarity that makes me get the targets. The skepticism that as well makes me have clarity about what are the right tools to get from my goals. And then I already have done what the scientists that are creating hypotheses to actions. Obviously, some other fields, the scientists that were already made, they were already tested. In science, people, they have tested, they have pretended, why not making running because increase heart rate and can increase the way that the blood flows and probably increases the way that it can perform even when you're not just like running and doing exercise. Probably was like hypothesis that people in the past have made, tested, and seems to be something that is true. But other fields, and as where as opportunities for people to have entrepreneurship, they can test to see if they can create something new informations. So certain types of solve problem you just have like right answers. Probably you just have to develop to scientists. And that's where skepticism can lead to get the real type of information, but all this skepticism can enter in a loop that you all are skeptic because nothing is true. You cannot achieve something that everyone has. Sometimes of certain type of things they have not get response. People just not have like an answer yet, and then that's why you rely in creativity. So ability to have synthesis. What's like one of the first ways is connecting dots, like merging ideas from related fields. It's something that tends to create things that are part of the survival of the fittest capitalism. So see how Darwin can be inspiring the capitalism. See all the pattern that Darwin has say and has seen in animal lives. See how this as well applies in a lot in the pure capitalism. TikTok more educations, short videos revolutionizing learning for better or worse. So the idea and the things are created, they can create better outputs or not. So what's the rule? Read widely, philosophy, science, and fiction. If you don't have time, take these mental models and see how they can aggregate to create a better system. And then you create hypotheses that obviously if you are able to do the first, and the last one, that's iteration. So testing your ideas, make interactions, see what you get from the reality from putting that type of idea that you create, that you're able to do it. And then obviously it's where you can kill your darling. So where it is, the iteration stage, revise ideas ruthlessly, first draws always tend to suck, and put them to test prototypes. Obviously, you have to get in count if they can put in risk if you fail. So whereas certain areas you can have more or less aversion than not. In healthcare, I don't recommend you to test wherever it's like that can come for your mind. But other fields that if you lose doesn't come something as bad as your health is, you can test it and then solve it. You just have to as well to understand in solving problem where if your methodology is you can be more risky averse or aversion if you can have like more risk aversion or not. But see how these four stages clearly if you adopt, you already solve the majority of the problems that you can face. Having clarity to understand what you really need, the skepticism that leads you to understand what could be the real tools that has proven that are true, that are ones that are good, get supported by synthesis so if you by your type of stage of skepticism, if you don't find something that is not proven either as true to solve a problem, feel free to create and outperform and being better in sciences, to create hypotheses that can be the ones that you can create to solve a problem. And obviously the things to be proven as true, you always have to put to iterate, but obviously having count what are the results that comes as iteration. So that's why things in healthcare, they're most easy to have innovations in terms of escalate for everyone to use because it's a sensitive term in cooperation, for example, with the field of tech that you can iterate much more because it's technology, it doesn't impact that much of the life as our health and technology that emerge in that field. So I expect this video to make you like the channels, make you become a better person. And without much more to say, just thank you, subscribe, put a like, and I hope to see you in the next one. So see you in the next one.